Hello everyone and welcome back to Into Uncharted Waters. Today we're exploring the experience of starting high school as a new student, something that can both be exciting and incredibly challenging. I am joined here by two guests who entered ninth grade without knowing anyone, and they're here to share what the journey was like. From navigating unfamiliar hallways to building new friendships, they found ways to adapt, grow, and fit in. In this episode, we'll hear their stories and lessons they've learned and their advice for anyone facing a fresh start.
Hi, my name is Margot Spikes, and I'm a new ninth grader at Hockaday.
And hi, I'm Ainsley Buholtz, and I'm a freshman at Hockaday.
Okay, first question. What was a highlight on your first day of school?
I would say my main highlight the first day of school was meeting Margot in advisory for the first time because we were both new, and it just felt like I had someone in advisory that I could talk to and be completely honest about how I was feeling my first week.
Yes, I was a bit overwhelmed at first just because there were so many new people. I've never been to a new school before, but I feel like meeting my advisory and some other new people was just nice, and it was comforting.
Did you ever have a what am I even doing here moment?
I don't really think that I did. I felt really comfortable with my advisory mainly, and I felt like I could go talk to them about anything, especially my advisors, so.
I sort of did, but it was kind of before school even started because I was worried I was like, what am I even doing here there's so many extremely smart, bright people, and I was wondering if I was going to be able to keep up and have a good school year.
And adjust to the new academic pace
Exactly.
and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you find your classes on the first day, and do you have any funny stories about getting lost?
Well, Hockaday is actually shaped in a square, which I didn't realize at first. And so I actually walked around several times in a circle because each hallway looks relatively the same to a new person. And so I definitely struggled on the first day. And then I didn't even know that. So my second period is debate, which is in a completely separate building. And I didn't know that we would have classes in other buildings. So I continuously walked in that circle looking for debate. Little did I know it's on the second floor of a whole nother building.
And now she knows.
And I have something similar. I'm Lark looking for the Spanish room, which is actually not in Lark. It is in the main upper school building. And yeah, so.
How did your expectations compare to what really happened?
When I first came to Hockaday, I thought everyone was just super academic. That's all they focused on. However, I quickly realized that there's a lot of people who are more athletically focused. I don't know if that's a word, but or just they have other interests.
Athletically inclined, yeah.
They just tend to focus on other priorities besides academics.
It's a good balance. Okay, was there a teacher or a staff member that helped you feel welcomed?
I would say a staff member that really made me feel welcomed was my advisor, Mr. Gilliland, because I could just go and talk to him about whatever I was struggling on, if I was struggling in Spanish or physics or English or anything, he would just be there to help me out a lot.
I agree. I first met him because he ran the summer program that all the new students were required to take, and he's just been such a supportive person, and he's such a light, and I'm so glad he came to Hockaday.
Do you think that summer classes you were kind of required to take, do you think it really helped you not feel not as behind as everyone around you?
Definitely. Again, I was really scared to come to Hockaday that I would be so behind everyone, but I feel like that summer program helped us incline to the rigor and stuff and be able to see that we can handle it.
Yeah.
I would also say the summer program really gave us an opportunity to make more friends that were also new, so that we also had people that we could talk to about being new, like Margot and Annalise.
Shout out. Okay, do you feel like you ever had to change yourself in order to fit in here? You had to try and act a certain way or say things?
I think, honestly, the opposite, because Hockaday is a very inclusive school, and it's really easy to realize that. I feel like I can just be myself in the hallway or in classrooms, and I don't have to worry about what people are going to think.
Yeah. Okay, how did you handle the lunchroom situation?
Okay, well, I really liked how Hockaday would let you sit anywhere in the school. That was
Yeah.
something that I really enjoyed, because you could sit outside on a nice day. You could sit in classrooms with your teachers. You could sit in the cafeteria. I think at first I didn't know who I was going to sit at lunch with, because there's so many different groups and stuff. But I actually came in with one of my best friends, and so we just kind of stuck together, and we were able to figure it out.
Yeah. What was your biggest fear or worry before coming to a new, like, in general, like Hockaday or even like another new school?
I would say my biggest worry was making friends,
Yeah.
which now like sounds dumb because like everyone is friends at Hockaday.
Yeah.
But I would say definitely making like new friends.
I agree. Like, from the school that I came to, I would never want to be a new student there, and I was worried that Hockaday was going to be similar to that too. But I quickly realized that everyone's friends with everyone. Everyone's super supportive, so it wouldn't have mattered what group we went to. It would have been great no matter what.
Yeah. Okay, now kind of diving into friendships and the more social aspect of starting at a new school. Do you have a story about your first new friend?
Okay, so again, we did the summer program, but Ainsley and I's sessions were different. So I had the first session, and I remember after the math class, we would go to English. And for the English, I sat down, and this blonde girl came and sat next to me. And she was like, "Hi, my name's Adriana. Like, what's your name?" And then after that, we ate lunch together. And again, my best friend that I came in with, she was there too. And we basically just talked for all of lunch, and we realized we had a lot in common. We had similar friends, stuff, and she's like become one of my best friends. So I'm so happy that she went up and talked to me.
Aww. Okay, how do you maintain old like connections and friendships from your old school?
I would say I maintain old connections by just like staying in touch through like Snapchat and FaceTiming people. But for example, this weekend I'm hosting like all of my old friends from my old school at my house, and we're just like gonna swim and like have fun and like reconnect and like catch up.
That's nice.
For me, going to a new school kind of made me realize who my true friends are. Not in a bad way in any way. It's just who did I want to keep in touch with, and who was I okay letting go of. And so now I honestly only talk to 3 of my closest friends from HP. And I still keep in touch with them a lot. I'll snap them. I'll call them. One of my friends and I were really into Hunger Games. And so every time a new cast member gets dropped, I always go text her. And
Aww.
so, but I feel like it just made me realize who I want to keep close with and who I'm okay letting go of.
So like who kind of stuck with you even after you left.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. Anytime here, did you ever feel any pressure to join a certain friend group, or did you ever feel like, you know, a certain group of people were kind of closed off and didn't want to meet anyone else?
I don't really think so. I just like followed like what like my gut feeling told me to do. So like joining like friend groups and stuff, I just like met people in class, outside of class, at football games and stuff like that, and really just became friends with who like I felt like I had the most like connection to.
Yeah.
For me, I came in with one of my good friends again, so we kind of stuck together. And for the first couple months of school, we were in one friend group, and then as time went on, we kind of shifted to another one. But I mean, both were great, and I've just had a great experience this entire year. So
You're fine.
So either one would have probably been fun, but I'm glad to be in the situation where
you're in now. Things worked out for the best.
And I have something else to add. Even though I'm not in the same group as I started out with at the beginning of school year, that's where I met some of my closest friends. Like Ainsley here, she's one of my best friends, and I wouldn't have met her if we weren't in that same group together.
Friend group.
So
Aww.
Yeah. So let things happen naturally. Like the people you meet, it'll all like work out and eventually lead you to the group of people who make you feel supported and loved. Okay, what is the best way you found to kind of break the ice with strangers?
I think at the
You're fine.
at the
Tough
beginning
question.
at the beginning of the school year, I sort of knew a couple people at Hockaday
Yeah.
coming into the grade, and so I would sort of talk to them, and I would be like, oh yeah, I knew this girl. I know she left this year, but I was friends with her before, and that's kind of the way that I would break the ice with people, and then I'd start talking to them about school, and yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I had a different experience because I knew 0 people at Hockaday except for Karis because she went to my old school.
Old school.
And so I think that, like, it was really hard for me to break the ice with people, mainly because I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't know how to socialize with people whenever I was coming. But then, like, it kind of, like, I learned to, like, do it. I don't know how to explain that. Like, I just learned, like, naturally, like, I just got better at it and, like, progressed.
No, because I remember I met Ainsley a couple days before school started at like a new kid social event, and she was the quietest person I had ever seen. She was so scared, and I was like, it's okay, like you're gonna have so much fun here. And I remember the first day physics class, and she was like so energetic, and I was like, wow, like this girl changed overnight. So I mean, you were able to break the ice and show your true self.
And I think it was nice because a lot of the people that were there in previous years, they'd be so welcoming and they'd go and talk to you. Like they would just make you feel welcome. Like someone in particular that affected me was Bailey. I remember at one of the first New Kids things where they would have us come and all interact, she went up and talked to me. And I'm sure she doesn't remember this because she's met so many different new people, but that moment always stuck with me, and I just remember her from that.
I would say another person who really stood out to me whenever I first came was Kathleen.
Yeah,
because
she's so friendly.
She just had such a huge smile on her face at every single event, and I could literally spot her out anywhere. And I was like, okay, I have to remember her name. And now, like, I'm so grateful that I did because I love her so much.
No, I literally love Kathleen. She deserves the world. And I just remember at the beginning of the school year, she would always pronounce my name differently, differently than everyone else. But no, I just found it so endearing though, because I'm like, oh my god, like I never wanted to correct her because I was like, I can't correct this girl because she's so sweet. For sure.
So finding that one or even couple people who made you feel welcome because they reached out first, or even just a simple hi, can really change, your journey here. Okay, how do you deal with the feeling of being left out, if that's ever happened?
So for me, I never really felt left out at Hockaday just because, like, everyone, like, was really inclusive.
For me, I've had a little bit of a different experience just because at the beginning of the school year, whenever there were so many new kids, it was different. I wasn't sure, like, where everything was going to fall. I had a little bit of trouble knowing what friend group I was going to go to and, like, the friends that I wanted to stay close to. But I had one friend who really helped me through it, and we stayed close, and we're still such good friends to this day. So I'm glad I had her.
That's amazing. So for kind of like hobbies and stuff, do you think playing sports or doing like music or even something in the fine arts, do you think that helped you meet new people?
Oh, 100%. So I actually met Audrey in our journalism class the first day, and, like, we got partnered up for an assignment, and then now, like, we're, like, best friends because of it. And then I also met Georgia there, too, and so, like, we just, like, all became really good friends in journalism.
I have to agree. In my fine art, I have it with Caroline Fleiss, Alexa, Aravli, and that's how I became super close with some of them. Like, I've started talking to Aravli a lot in debate, and ever since then, I loved being her friend, and I love seeing her in the hallways. And same with Caroline Fleiss. She also was one of the people who was already here that really helped me feel welcome, and I always enjoyed talking to her, and she just made me feel better about being new.
Yeah. Okay, now kind of getting into, like, the challenges you face, but also the growth that you've shown over the year. So what's been your hardest day so far, and how did you get through it?
I would say that my hardest day so far was definitely my Spanish preterite test because I failed it, and I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to recover? But then my teacher was so nice and so, like, welcoming, and she was like, yeah, don't worry, you can definitely, like, retake it. I hear some, like, sheets that'll help you, like, just, like, get to know, like, the words first, and then come back to me whenever you know that you can, like, get a good grade on this test.
Yeah, that's good.
I feel like for me, I don't remember one day in particular, but like 2 instances was one academically is whenever I took my first physics test, it was genuinely like a slap in the face. I've never taken a test that was anything like it. It was so different, but I've definitely like overcome, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've learned how they work sort of, and now I've ended with an A. So it actually
There you go.
it actually worked out.
Yeah. So
And then wait, hold on. Oh, and then some of my hardest days, I just remember being so sad at the beginning of the school year, probably around the month of October, just because I felt like I was being left out of things and isolated, and certain people were trying to make me feel that way, and I was just confused why they were doing that.
yeah.
But it's definitely gotten so much better, and it got me to where I am now, and I could not be more pleased with where I am now, so I'm happy.
And then I guess we'll get into what's something you're proud of since you started here, whether that's getting the grades you wanted or even just, finding a friend group who you can rely and talk to.
I would say I'm really proud of my 4 on my preterite
There you
Spanish
go.
test
See the
after I
improvement.
retook it.
I feel like I'm just really proud of this, how I got here, because I was so nervous to come to Hockaday. But now this year has been the best year of my life, and I'm just proud that with all the friends that I've met, even people that I just say hi to in the hallway, I'm glad I've seen them, and there's just so many smiling faces. I'm just happy to be where I am now.
Do you think you've changed or grown in any way this year? Like in terms of whether it was finding something new that you loved or even just like learning how to study?
Oh, I've definitely had to learn how to study this year, changing from Dealey, my old school. I would say that I've grown a lot academically coming to Hockaday throughout the year, and I just feel like it's been a really good growth for me.
Learned a lot about yourself.
For sure.
Okay, kind of final section about advice and like just takeaways overall. Has being the new kid made you more understanding or even open to others?
So I have a story about this. My advisor, Mr. G, he was also new this year, and I made it my goal to always say hi to him in the hallways whenever I saw him. And recently he just told me that it like made his year and made him feel so much more welcomed at Hockaday. And so I would just say hi to people. It really can make someone's day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I was nervous to be the new kid at a school. However, I think it helped a bit that there was 20 other people coming in with me in the same situation. So I'm glad that was the case.
No, you're fine. What is one thing? What is one thing you'd say to your first day self?
I would just say to be yourself, because like Anya said, I was not myself whenever I first met everyone because I was really shy. But then like I really opened up, and that's when I started to make friends. So
I would probably tell myself that just everything's going to be okay and just let the chips fall where they may,
Oh, I love that. No, I love it.
Don't try to force things is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Just let everything go the way it's supposed to. Go where the wind takes you. That's supposed to be like a stupid analogy, but I follow that.
I love that. Yeah, I think I would also like add on that like you're definitely not alone. Like I think by hearing both these girls' stories and kind of what they went through, you can see a lot of similarities, that they're both feeling a lot of the same things. So remembering that you're not alone and that there's at least one other person who's probably feeling the same way as you. Okay, how do you stay confident when everything feels new and weird?
I feel like relying on your constants. Like for me, that was a person, I'd come in and she was my constant. Like we came in together. However, I understand that not every time you're going to have a person, but at least relying on your constant values and going back to that and just making sure you're not changing for others, that can help you stay confident.
Yeah. Okay, and what is one small thing you think people can do to help new kids feel more welcomed?
I would say genuinely just be nice to them, because I feel like people like come with the idea that new kids are going to be like not scary but like a little intimidating because they're new and you already have your friends and that kind of thing. But I would just really be nice to them because they're more terrified than you are to come to the huge school.
Yeah. Okay.
Just again, similar to what Ainsley said, just by talking to them, you know. Caroline Fleiss talked to me a lot in the first couple months of school. Like, she still talks to me now, obviously, but
we love you, Caroline.
We love you, Caroline. But she is one person that truly made me feel better about coming to new school. She would go out of her way to go talk to me.
That's
and especially
nice.
at the retreat, I really bonded with her by talking with her by the lake, and it was just the two of us, and it was really nice.
What do you think then is a good way to meet people outside of just being in school and besides like summer classes and stuff?
Definitely getting involved in what your school has to offer.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I play tennis, and so being on the school team, I met so many upperclassmen. Like, one of them, I love her so much. She's a senior. She's gone. But even, like, the sophomores and juniors, I just love meeting them. And even, like, another freshman who was on the team, I didn't know her that well at the beginning, but now we're a lot closer.
I would say go to Friday Night Lights and other like school events, because those I really, really met new people who are so sweet. And then also volunteer with the school. Like they have like Habitat for Humanity and like clubs and like social impact, stuff like that.
Just getting involved helps so much.
Join Elevate EDU.
Yes, Elevate EDU. That's a cool club.
So taking
That's where all the cool kids go.
taking advantage.
I've heard.
You've heard. Taking advantage of what your school has to offer. And do any of you do tutoring? Do you think that's maybe helped?
I tutor so we have a 7-day rotation. I tutor every day too at the Nathan Adams Elementary School. So this has really like made me see things from a different perspective, because a lot of these kids, they don't have the same opportunity and the same resources as we do. But I've enjoyed getting to teach them math and help with their reading and stuff.
Okay, to kind of wrap things off in one final question, what is your last message or piece of advice you would want to share?
My last like piece of advice would be to go talk to your teachers as much as you possibly can, because I made that mistake this year to not go talk to them, and I deeply regret it, because your teachers are really just there for you. They want to help you. They want to see you succeed. So
I feel like socially, just be confident whenever meeting new people. Like, going back to the summer school thing, if that girl hadn't come up to me, we would probably still be friends, but like, you never know. And if she was confident in that sense, and I'm just forever grateful for that.
Well, thank you both so much for coming on here. We had so much fun, and I think your stories will hopefully help so many other people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the next episode.